Florida squeeze. I think now folks who are watching in broader terms are seeing what I have always said privately to people when they talk about voting for the Democrats to defend democracy. And that we need to support Democrats because they're the ones fighting for democracy. And I've said, look, in 30 years being involved in the party, starting with the College Democrats and the Young Democrats, I was the president of the College Democrats at the University of Florida 30 years ago, kind of indicating my age to y'all. There has always been an undemocratic, an anti-democratic streak, anti-democracy streak within the party apparatus. Rigging elections, stealing elections, manipulating how votes are cast within party elections. Now, not in the broader scale. I mean, we saw here in Florida, the Republicans steal a presidential election in 2000. That's what they did. They did it in broad daylight. I was very involved in the recount. If you Google my name and the recount, now I think most of those articles are behind paywalls. But at one time, you could have seen the extent of my involvement. So I'm not saying the Democrats are bad for democracy as a whole. They're certainly preferable to the Republicans, who now have become, quite frankly, a party in love with authoritarianism and unconstitutional behavior and megalomania. But the Democrats are not a party that practices democracy within its own house. I can give you countless examples, but I don't need to, because now everybody is seeing what's happening to David Hogg, who is from, full disclosure, from down the street from me. I live in Coral Springs. My niece who lives with us if we lived a couple blocks north of here, she would have gone to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. So she doesn's go to Stoneman Douglas, but we're in the neighborhood, basically. We're in the same neighborhood. I graduated from J.P. Taravella High School now 35 years ago or so. Half of my class was cut off, and the people I went to school in 9th and 10th grade with, half of them ended up at Stoneman Douglas when that school opened. So that's my proximity to the area. But basically, because David Hogg is challenging Democrats within the Democratic Party, a party that has bylaws which are anti-democratic, which basically say you must stay out of primaries, you must support our nominee, like it's some sort of private country club, okay? This is not a mass movement that supports democracy. It's like a country club. And we have our gatekeepers, right? And our gatekeepers all make lots of money off of the party. Our gatekeepers are all filthy rich because they thrive off of being the gatekeepers and handpicking the candidates that run. And the candidates that run aren't actually that end up winning aren't actually fighting back against Donald Trump and autocracy, because maybe they kind of admire that sort of thing. And quite frankly, we don't care, because we just need to keep guard our territory and make our money. There are so many grifters around the Democratic Party, and they don't want to be threatened. They're in their comfort zone. They own their territory. Understand something, and I want people to get this. You and I and the general public may be devastated when Republicans win elections, because we know it's bad for the country. We know it's bad if you get social services. We know it's bad for healthcare. We know there's going to be more guns around because Republicans are winning. We know it's going to be harder to get an abortion. It's reproductive rights are going to be more difficult because Republicans win. The average Democratic operative doesn't care, because they're making money. They live very comfortably. They're getting a handout from one elected official or another who's a Democrat, who runs in a safe seat. They don't feel the way we do, and they're not impacted in real life by Republicans running the state of Florida, or running a local government, or running the federal government. It doesn't impact them. It's all just talking points and, oh, if we do this, maybe we can win the next election. You know, like James Carville going out and saying, well, Democrats don't need to do anything about Trump. They should just sit back and let the country collapse, let the global economy collapse, because then we'll win in 2026. It's shameful. It's disgusting. And so I've never been this animated in a video or a podcast before. What they're doing to David Hogg is a disaster. And it's a disaster for democracy, and it kind of exposes what the institutional Democratic Party, not necessarily Democratic activists or people who vote for Democrats or people who put their faith in Democrats because they're better on policy. It's not them. It's what the institutional Democratic Party has become. It's an anti-democratic party. It's a party that seeks to keep its gatekeepers in place. It's a party that seeks to keep the money flowing for its operatives and consultants. And it's not a party for you and me at this point. I stay registered a Democrat. Sometimes I don't know why. And maybe I won't much longer. I registered as a Democrat when I was 17. Never left the party, have been active in the party in one capacity or another. But this is just, my patience has worn really thin, particularly since November. And these people all enabled Joe Biden to stay in the race too long also. That's a subject for another day.